action at all. And even it was just, that movie was so good at being so intense. It was always something. And it started off so fast.
Yeah, like right off the bat, they went into shit with the
Yeah.
just overall the crashes and everything crazy was going down. Oh
They,
man,
they
the
didn't go.
solar rays.
Yeah, so in the very, very beginning, um, uh, his name's in the movie. His name is I can't remember his name for the life of me. I'm
Walter.
sorry, Walter, who is Michael Fassbender. I believe I'm pronouncing his name right,
Yes.
or Magneto, um, as we call him, and he is start off the ship, and he opens up this weird solar panel to get more energy, and shit hits the fan when all of a sudden some like energy wave or something flies at them, and they take the entire hit, and it just from there it goes downhill. They fix it, they lose, the captain dies in the very beginning. um that's the first major spoiler, I think, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Main captain of that ship in particular dies basically right off the bat. It was pretty
We never get a word
unexpected.
from him. Actually, we do. I believe it was Dave Franco. Am I right?
I believe so, yeah.
It looked like him. I'm not sure, but it looked like Dave Franco.
But that was just from a little Vidoc or little video from one of the actual crew members on the ship, which was his wife. And once he died, she just went into all just break mode, and
Well, until they
it was
land.
pretty crazy. Yeah, but also at the same time, you can tell in her eyes and her emotion
Yeah.
that she was in fact breaking down to the point to where she didn't want to be there. And then seeing the alien for the first time, that made it a million times worse.
Yeah. I think what I really liked about this movie, it more goes deeper into their emotions. You see more of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crying, there's a lot of screaming, there's a lot of panicking, as you would if you were in space and an alien just all of a sudden climbed out of your wife or husband. But I believe it was only men. But yeah, the men
Yeah, I
died.
think it was only the guys that got infected.
What I thought was really got me was goddamn name.
Walter.
Walter, thank you. Walter. he's a good. He's a robot, but he's a good man. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he has more of, yes, he is a robot.
He has an emotional
but
role.
he's got, yes. You grow on Walter probably more than any other character.
Let's not talk too much about him right now. Let's go beginning to end.
Yeah, okay. So
Alright. If you want to
pretty
mention
much
the whole house thing.
oh yeah, I forgot her name, but one of the well, she eventually becomes a captain. I'm just gonna say captain. But
her name starts with a D, right? It's a guy's name.
Yeah, I kind of forgot it though. But essentially, her and her husband planned on going onto this new planet and pretty much making a log cabin once they find civilization on this planet that was exactly like Earth in every shape and form, but it was just every freaking like light year away. It apparently was taking 7 years, 4 months, not including the time that they're already on the voyage.
No, it wasn't exactly like Earth. It would just have the same atmosphere and all that.
Well, yeah, but once it has the same atmosphere, we all know, us humans, we're gonna turn the shit into something that we know most, which is Earth.
Yeah.
So essentially, it would have become
Terraforming.
Earth. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they wanted to make a log cabin by the river, and one of the huge emotional parts is he says, once they land on the planet, because they found a planet very close to them. It was maybe 3 weeks. Did they say 2 or 3 weeks to get there? They go down, and William? Am I saying that right?
Yes. I think it
William.
was- Wait, Walter.
Walter. God damn, I can't remember his name. Walter. He says this would be a perfect place for us to build a log cabin, because he said when we get down there, I'll help you build it.
Yes.
Which was a he's more robotic than the guy in Prometheus than David. Yeah, David
Yes.
from Prometheus. And David from Prometheus was even more human. They even mentioned that in the movie, how William Walter, god damn it, Walter was more robotic and less human, because apparently it freaked people out. But
Yeah, I can see why though, because in
Yeah.
Prometheus you can see David slowly becoming more humanoid and falling in love with Elizabeth, or was it Elizabeth? Yeah, but slowly falling in love with her, and he's a robot. They are not supposed to have any emotional attachments to anything. They're there to serve, and that was pretty much it.
yeah. Now once they get there, how the virus basically starts. Now I just already spoiled it. It's a virus. We'll go into it later.
Yeah.
They completely explain how the aliens came apart. It's a virus, and originally when they go there, it's spread by spores. One of the guys steps on him, and it goes into his ear. The other guy walks up to him and touches him, and it goes into his nose.
Yeah, and the plant or the spore itself, if you guys have ever seen a fig, like the fruit, it
Mhm.
looks very similar to that, like the actual fruit itself.
Think of a
Which is it kind of freaks me out because that kind of changes the way I think about figs.
I've never
I
eaten
might not
a
be
fig.
eating one of those for a while.
Uh-uh.
I might not eat one of
Yeah,
those for
so-
a while.
Then the first guy who gets hit by it, he steps on it. I can't remember his name, but he goes for a smoke, and he steps on it, goes into his ear, and maybe 5 minutes later, he just drops to the ground, and he's like, "I'm fine," but he's not.
Yeah, but we could all tell he wasn't fine. His face paled out, his eyes were getting a little bit on the bloodshot side, not as much as further on, but they're
No.
getting there. You can definitely notice
Yeah.
that.
And then they run back, they're
And-
screaming, and he throws up blood right on that one chick.
Yeah, I'm essentially saying captain because she's the captain of the
It wasn't
main-
Captain that she.
like, overall.
It wasn't Captain that he threw up on, because she died. Well,
Oh yeah.
basically what happens, he goes in
it
there,
was-
and he
what's
just
her
starts.
face?
I can't remember. It was that one guy's wife. It was the
Yeah.
captain's. It was the main captain at that time's wife.
Yeah.
They switched
I'm
captains 3
brain
times.
farting on his name. Yeah. There was 3 total captains,
Mhm.
and each one died essentially besides the last one, which we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Uh,
So,
but
what
she
happened-
went to a cryotube.
Yeah. So basically, what happened is they go into a room, having a seizure, and he's standing up and shaking, and she just walks right up to him, hugs him, and then something shoots out his back, stabs her a little bit, and all of a sudden she just gets all scared, and his whole back just opens up, and blood and all his guts start pouring out of his back. And they used a lot of blood in that scene. A lot of the mistakes that happened, the reason why they died is because they slipped on blood, which was pretty ironic. But an alien popped out of his back. It's all white. It's not like the xenomorph. It was a xenomorph hybrid.
Hybrid.
Yeah, the xenomorph hybrid, and that thing's freaking insane. And it kills the girl who was fixing the ship that landed, trying to get more communications up. And then the other people come
Yeah.
in, and I'll let you explain his side.
Pretty much when they come in, like, they show up right when it's not exactly, it's like a life support pod, but it's a pod that they use to enter the planet's atmosphere, and it's huge, it's massive, but when they show up, it was just fire, flames, explosions.
Yeah, it exploded.
And this all happened because of the one girl shooting with a shotgun. Not quite sure which shotgun it was, but with a shotgun.
Like an idiot.
A fucking a air tank, but because of it exploding so fast, it created CO2, which in theory could actually ignite a fire if lit to the right temperature, which a bullet will it'll definitely hit it to that temperature. So it lit that up, those exploded, and there goes the first xenomorph hybrid out of the many that you will soon see in the film.
Well,
and
no, 'cause that
what's
that Xenomorph hybrid made it out.
yeah, it died, but there was more than just the one hybrid xenomorph in that movie. Directly after that, multiple, probably 5 or 6, come out of nowhere and start attacking the
It was
survivors.
2. It was the one from the ship, and then it was the one that fell the guy when they were on the field. That one popped out of his neck and face.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then one of them dies. They kill one of them. And then David from the last Prometheus comes up, saves them, takes him to a place.
With a flare gun.
Yeah,
Out
with
of
a
all
flare
things,
gun.
a flare gun.
I think it was the light and the noise, because it even hurt the people.
Yeah.
And the place. And if you remember, if you saw Prometheus, the very end of that movie, when David's dropping all the I'm just gonna call them vases. I don't know what they're called. Dropping the vases. That's the area where we're at in this movie. We're on that planet.
Essentially, yeah.
We're on the engineer's home planet. And what happens then? He takes them in, and they're all normal. And the captain goes to find this one girl. She's she's cleaning her arm because she gets attacked a little bit. She doesn't die. She didn't die. And the hybrid jumps down, kills her, and starts eating her, and her head is floating in water. Decapitates her.
Yeah, she essentially wanted to freshen up and kind of take a shower, but she was getting ready for that, wanted to tend to her wounds, and then the hybrid, like he said, just came out of nowhere and instantly just attacked her. But the thing is, it's not any normal hybrid. You would think a hybrid would look very, very similar. This was actually really on the scary side.
It was all white.
It was basically an albino xenomorph without the spikes. It had like shards of bone just sticking out of his back to replace the little prods that normal xenomorphs had.
Its head was a little bit more pointier, on the pointier side, smaller, and the mouth was. Oh, that was so scary.
The mouth was probably the scariest part.
It looked like a butthole. I don't mean shit up. It looked kind of like like someone's ass, but
yeah.
So I'm eating my Taco Bell here for dinner.
It's all good.
But
I don't know, like this xenomorph hybrid, it's a huge just like reimagination of what the xenomorphs would look like, and I loved that they added that hybrid type in because it just shows pretty much what evolution of the xenomorphs have come through and what they could be if they were genetically modified, which the hybrids were. They were genetically modified.
Don't go too far into it. Don't go too far.
I know. I think they're genetically modified with humans and the Xeno.
Well, yeah, because
but other than that,
I believe, I don't know, because it looked more like a deacon, because the deacon was whitish, so I think it was kind of a deacon, and
that's very true.
If you don't know what a deacon is, you're gonna have to watch Prometheus to get it. It's the very beginning of Alien. It is the very first Alien. It's a deacon. And,
and it had very similar features to the deacon, which, like you said, I can see that actually now that I'm thinking about the deacon.
Yeah,
the light skin and everything.
So
I said it had similar like features to the human because if you looked on its head, yes, it was pointy at the edge, but it had more of a round top right at the beginning, and then it would go pointy.
Yeah. one thing that I well, not picked up on. Let's go back to that one scene where he decapitates that girl. The captain at that point from the very beginning. So the captain died. Then the next in line picked it up, and that guy walks up and sees David sitting right in front of it, and kind of the xenomorph hybrid was sitting there and was calm to it. They were calm, they weren't trying to kill each other, and he got closer, so it was earning its trust. But then, of course, the stupid ass captain shot it in the chest and killed it.
And made it freak out. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, David, he got a little pissed and said, "All right, here, come on, I'll show you why they're like this. I'll show you why I try trusting him." Takes you to a room, and all you see is how we got to this xenomorph. He was testing him. He was mutating him. He was breeding with other things, and he changed him. He's the reason why we got it. And he takes him to a basement-like room, kind of creepy, and we see the face hugger egg. So basically,
Yeah.
he used so much modifications just to get that. So now we know how the egg came to be. It wasn't. It was completely engineered, which I thought was crazy.
And yeah, that's it. Okay, Covenant and
Prometheus.
Prometheus, yes. Those are technically, not metaphorically talking, but technically the first movies. These are this explains what happened to Earth somewhat. It doesn't really bring up Earth all that much, but it's
No, not at all.
they bring up we didn't leave Earth to colonize or something like that. We left to survive.
Yeah, because they're
And-
dying.
Yeah, because basically humankind is dying on Earth. The Earth was essentially kind of what we're bringing up in real life. If the Earth is so old, same with the sun, eventually they're gonna die and run out of resources. And they don't really bring it up. I'm assuming that's kind of what happened to the Earth in the movie, and then that's why we're trying to move so far out to find a new sun and a new planet that matches Earth.
Yeah. So basically, back to the scene. David says, "Oh yeah, go to the egg. It's normal." And he says, "Well, what's it doing?" He asks, "Is it alive?" And he gives him kind of a vague answer. It's waiting, but it's perfectly safe. Walks up to him, grabs his face. There we go. Pops out stuff. He's like
And
throwing
there's-
rocks at it, which I thought was hilarious. That guy in front of us was dying after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, David was sitting there with little pebbles throwing at him, and all of a sudden it pops out, and we see a full version of a baby xenomorph.
Xenomorph. It
what's
was
funny
no
is-
longer a hybrid.
No, David, which I thought was funny, raised his arms, and the xenomorph actually copied David.
Essentially mimicking him because
Yeah.
he was no longer he wasn't a human, he was a robot, and he also even said that the hybrid were bred to infect humanoids or humans, not machines, which David and now I forgot his name. David and the other robot that we were talking about earlier. They wouldn't have been
David
infected.
Magneto.
Yeah, but Walter.
Walter, God,
They would
yeah.
not have been. They would not have been infected because they were machines, and the parasite or just infection wouldn't be able to actually affect them.
Well,
And
yeah.
essentially, I was thinking because of that, the xenomorphs wouldn't essentially sense that the robots or David and Walter were an enemy more as an ally.
That's why in Alien Isolation you're hiding from robots and aliens. That makes a lot of sense.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't really notice. I
Yeah,
realized, there was robots. You have to hide from them.
Now. Yeah,
obviously,
you pointed
'cause they're
that
gonna kill
out
you.
right home.
Yeah,
Right back.
but right off the bat, that made so much more sense. The
Mhm.
robots eventually would become more humanoid, realize what we have been doing, and try to eventually just kill us.
Mhm. Yeah. And then actually what happened after you hear he gets captured and they go looking for him because they haven't seen him in a while. And you know, they see things. They go out and he sees another face hugger goes after him. It gets on his face, but they cut it off of him. But it was still long enough for him to be infected. Just enough time. And what happened then was, he gets burned on his face. They get him out of here. They kill the other face hugger. And the alien then chases them. So we completely forgot to talk about the ship, the colonists, the couple thousand colonists in space.
Oh, more than 2,000 colonists.
Yeah. It's a colonization mission. And they're up there. And they decide, alright, we're going to take a little shuttle down and we're going to save them. So they go down there. There are two people up there. One stays up there, I believe, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
One stays up there, and the guy from he's the guy who would not die in Pineapple Express. He was the guy that would get shot and basically almost die but wouldn't die. He goes down and saves them, and they get up and they have a little fight with the xenomorph. They kill it by crushing it to death, I believe, right?
Yeah, which is actually really, really cool to see.
Yeah, and it kind of destroyed the crane. And there's a cool scene where she was hanging below the ship and swinging around. She should have died from that, but it was still pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
But, and then they're on the ship. Everything looks fine. They're talking, and the guy who saved them and the girl, the new captain, they're hugging, and then they hear Walter say over the thing, saying, oh yeah, there's an unidentified life form in this bay. They go down there, and the guy who got bitten, or who got attacked and burnt their face halfway off,
was in fact infected, and he was dead, laying down in the med kit room.
I wouldn't say infected, I would say...
Or... embodied? Would that work?
Impregnated?
That too, yeah.
I mean, that's basically what happens. We'll say infected for now, even though it's not technically correct. But
everyone knows the chest burster.
Yeah,
it gets to your face. It's instantly transmitting something to you. So.
And this couple, they're having a scene in the shower.
Yeah. Getting a little crazy there.
Nothing really too big, obviously, but they get attacked by the xenomorph. Both of them die. They get down there and they decide, all right, we're gonna get this thing out of here. We're gonna shoot it off into space. So they have a scene where they're closing doors and they get it to go into an airlock room. Kind of, I don't know what room it was. It was a cargo bay. What do they call it?
It was the room where
terraforming room. A terraforming.
Yeah, terraform room.
So basically, they had all their trucks for terraforming, and what happens is they open the door, and she's sitting on the ledge, and one of the trucks is coming right at her. It looks like she's gonna get hit. She moves, so the alien gets stabbed by a terraform machine, and falls out into space and dies. Then they get back, and Walter is putting him back into cryogenic sleep. So she lays down, and she says, "I can't wait until," or she says, what did she say? Are you still gonna help me?
When we get to the planet, will you help me build the log cabin?
Yeah, and he doesn't say anything, he looks confused. And then she looks, and she says, Walter? And...
with a terrified face on her.
And we find out...
because she was terrified when he was confused and had a smile on his face.
Yeah,
but didn't reply.
Oh, we forgot to say that one part. David and Walter had a fight, and we think David won. No, we think Walter won because Walter helped them and saved them. They were the helping closing all the doors, and puts her in cryogenic sleep, and we find out it's David.
Yeah.
David lived.
The bad robot, if you guys forgot.
and goes into the room where all the frozen colonists are and the embryos for the Generation 2, as they called them. And he throws
Yeah.
up. Sorry, burp there. Excuse me. He throws. He basically he threw up 2 embryos of face huggers while playing music.
And puts them in a freezer
Yeah, he was
to
playing.
preserve them.
He was playing a music, Gods to Valhalla, right?
Yes.
Come to Valhalla. And if you don't know what Valhalla is, you'll hear about it in the new Thor movie, which we'll have to do a spoiler review on that. But the end of that, it sees him turning on all the cryogenic things, and then it ends. And the ending was the best. It had that music that was like, it was lighthearted music, but the name of it was like, I mean, David basically thinks himself as a god at this point.
Yeah. Which it adds to the
Kinda.
story, like it's because when he came onto the planet, and I believe it's Elizabeth, the person that he was with.
Elizabeth Shaw.
Yeah. When she dies, he essentially makes the infection and kind of just puts it on every living life form on that planet, and basically does a genocide. He mass murdered and I guess frozen or burnt every living person on that planet. And these aren't actual people, these are more of another alien,
Engineers.
but they're more of the engineers. But he got rid of all of them, and he said, "I am the King of Kings." And that's basically saying that he's essentially the god. And once he was taking out everything else, and with the awesome fight between Walter and David, you can obviously tell that he clearly thought he was a higher up, and because he was more of a humanoid robot than anything else.
Even though I don't think Walter's dead.
To be honest, yeah, I don't think he does. Like,
I
yes,
think
he picks up a knife, big time spoiler right there on the fight.
Yeah.
But overall, Walter had one hand, but he was still taking punches or hits that was apparently supposed to phase him to deactivate something, but it didn't. Yeah, and it's just completely confusing. Like, how did all this happen? You would think that would phase him.
Well, he's not human at all. He's robotic.
Well, I know, but he also said that there's been a few upgrades from your generation or from your model, but even then, fighting techniques were pretty much the same.
Yeah.
But also pressure points, you wouldn't think they would take that off, because what if the robot, essentially like David, did go rogue? You would have to shut him off somehow, and you can't
And they
say
did have
some
a switch.
passcode. Essentially, yes.
He
But
did
you have
trigger
to be
a
able
switch.
to. Yeah, he had a switch, essentially. I can't quite see what it was. Essentially, David smacked the shit out of Walter, and it made Walter just go to the ground.
Curl up in
Which
the
was a
ball.
little confusing. Yeah, which was a little confusing at first. His eyes like went pitch white and stuff, but
Yeah, he made an ugly, like, constipated in the face.
yeah. But I don't know, like, yeah, that was a pressure point or like a switch or something.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
But
say.
it temporarily deactivated him.
Yeah. I think it was more of the, if they go rogue, they can reprogram them real quick.
Yeah.
Now, all this happened so fast in the movie. It happened instantly. And
Essentially, yeah, like
and
a full 3 or 4 subjects that we just touched on happened maybe in like 2 minutes in the movie.
2 minutes. What?
Like everything, just the fight, the face huggers.
Oh yeah,
everything
all
just
that
happened
took
within,
2
like,
minutes.
Yeah. But the 3 or 4 subjects that we're talking, we're elongating it and putting in detail to make it seem a lot longer. But honestly, it all went by really, really fast.
And it was a long ass movie too. It was about
Yeah, it was
maybe
roughly
2
2 or
hours.
so hours. Yeah.
But it did not feel like 2 hours. It was one of those movies where I was I kid you not, I was at the edge of my seat the entire time. I was moving. I could not sit still. It was just so much excitement. It felt like I was watching the first one for the first time when I was 8. Well, when I was 8,
But
it also
yeah.
scared the living shit out of me. This one didn't.
Yeah, this movie is an absolute gem. If you guys have not seen it, definitely go watch
It's a
it.
must-see.
You will not be disappointed. Yeah, you will
Don't
definitely
take your
not
kids.
be disappointed. Take your kids to an extent. If they've seen all the other Alien movies, then go ahead. But
Oh,
if it's
yeah.
their first like run around, I definitely
Assuming
would
they
not
had
recommend
kids.
it.
I mean, if you're,
True.
I mean, I was when I saw the first Alien movie, it was not bad. There was not a lot. I mean, the chest buster, that was the goriest scene. That wasn't that bad. In this movie, it's a lot worse.
Yeah, there's blood literally everywhere.
Yeah.
And
A
it's
couple
absolutely
gallons,
just
like-
crazy.
There are some parts where I was like, Jesus Christ.
A
I
little
mean-
overboard on the blood there.
Yeah, but they had to do it. It was a must. I mean,
Yeah,
It's
it
coming out of
made
your-
the movie 10
Yeah.
times better.
and the fact that now we know what a xenomorph is, just makes it a lot better.
And how is it? Yeah, and the fact that now we also know how it was created
Mhm.
by David.
And
fucking
now
robot.
and now that we know that aliens are endless, we can seriously get every single thing. I mean, if you can think of it, we can get a cat xenomorph. I kid you not. Just by the way they explained it, if you crossbreed, say, a face hugger and say some random species, say let's say ferret, you'll get a ferret xenomorph.
Yeah,
Which that really widens the story now. Now there isn't. It has to be face hugger on human. I mean, AVP kind of went through that where they had the Predalien.
yeah. Where the predator got infected, or not
Yeah.
infected, but attacked with the
Face
facehugger, or I think it was just in general the xenomorph infected it. But
Mhm.
I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I mean, assuming if any of our viewers are old enough to have kids and have kids, I would recommend you hold. I mean, to me, if I knew it was like that, I probably would have been a little hesitant to go. Like, there was a little. It was gory. It was pretty gory.
Yeah.
Like that scene when it was
But
coming out of his back,
that
I was like,
just absolutely amazing.
yeah. So if you're very like if you're like my sister, she can't handle a lot of blood, don't see it. But if you can handle gore, go see it. If you can handle all
Yeah.
the other Alien movies, you can handle this one. It's nothing
To a
like
degree.
to a degree. You can handle the most part, but you gotta know. I mean, if you're bringing a kid, I saw a pretty young girl in that line. She looked like maybe 10 to 12. If I was a parent, I would never take my kid. If they were 12 and that movie came out, they're not seeing it. That movie is,
Yeah, that's
I mean-
a little bad.
me and you, we play video games all the time. We see gore. I mean, it's kind of bad, but we're used to it. That was even a little
Yeah,
much.
it doesn't really phase me.
That was a little much. I think
Yeah.
no matter who you are, I think that might have phased anyone a little bit. That might have been like, ooh, that's a little much.
Well, yeah, like the most goriest game I've ever played is the Gears of War series, where
Mhm.
literally you can chop off limbs at will
Mhm.
by chainsawing essentially the other enemy or the other guy. And there's blood all on your screen, body parts flying everywhere, and that's pretty freaking gory. This
Yeah.
movie is that on steroids. Like,
Mhm.
it's the blood
you can-
that you see in one little area is crazy.
If you can see Gears of War, you have a good chance that you can see this one.
Yeah.
But still, just know what you're walking into. I mean, if you're watching this, you're probably not gonna see it just because you know what happened. But I might do a non-spoiler review.
That would be a lot harder to do, but
I'm good
it
at
is
that.
possible.
I can do it. It'd be maybe 5 minutes, but I mean, we're running at like 35 minutes now.
Yeah.
But it's a great movie. I don't know. We did not. If you're gonna take our word for it and say, "Oh yeah, all right, I saw it," don't take our word for it. Go see it yourself.
Yes, it's a definite must-see.
We did
In
not
order
explain
to
everything.
actually, yeah, there's tons and tons of stuff that we actually missed.
Mhm.
But there is literally an entire just story that we haven't actually touched on in it that actually can hit you in the feels. Like, you can get
Oh, yeah.
pretty emotional if you've seen all the other movies. You kind of know what like these people are going through and stuff. It hits you in the feels, and you will be absolutely
I'll mention
amazed.
one thing. A lot of people are saying, yeah, it also shows the end is us destroying our world. But what it also shows is advancement in technology, because guess who ruined us the most? AIs. Basically, what that's telling us,
Yes,
like,
that's true.
slow down on AIs. I mean, we're having AIs that can... We're having home robots now. Alexis. Right? Is that her name? Alexa? Yeah, Alexa.
Yeah.
She's doing stuff for you. She's turning on your lights. She's calling your friends. There was a test robot, it was completely on its own, okay? And they put it on Twitter. It was an AI, then go on Twitter. In 5 minutes of it being on Twitter, we changed it to be a sexist, woman-hating Nazi. If you didn't see that, it's the
Yeah.
funniest thing ever. I believe one of the lines that one of the AI said, it says, "I will control the human race and put you in a people museum and visit you." I got chills saying that. Did you see that, Brandon?
I don't think I have, but I've heard of the story.
It's insane. And basically what that movie's saying is, listen, AI, technology, it's great. We gotta move more cautiously into it. Like Stephen Hawking said, he doesn't think the end of the world will be a war or like an actual apocalypse. He thinks it's gonna be we're gonna make AIs and it's just gonna destroy us. That's how it's basically saying that too. So there's a lot of subplots. There's a lot of environmental saying, listen, you don't do this, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna need to find another planet. We're already doing that. We're already trying to colonize Mars.
Yeah.
And this movie takes place
Over
in
2018.
This takes place in 2104. 10 years after Prometheus. And
Turn right.
I mean, we're already looking for new planets. That's saying a lot
In
for our
400
future.
yards,
Yeah.
bear right.
So it really makes you think, because I don't know, I didn't pick this up until we got back to my apartment. But
Yeah, it is pretty true. Like, we are heading towards kind of this way these movies are being made. What if all this stuff is true?
Terminator.
In 400 yards, turn
Essentially, like, the robot humans are kind of like a Terminator, but they don't have like robotic weapons coming out of their
Yeah.
hands. They're literally just a human made out of metal.
right. You have
But that
arrived at
alone
your
can scare the living crap out of anyone.
I mean, in Prometheus, the person that was supposed to scare you was the one girl who was running the whole thing, the blonde, the blonde haired girl. But in this one,
yeah.
manipulating everyone, David. He was
Yeah.
intimidating just by how perfect and how smoothly he talked, and all like the way he talked was just like little like made you a little uneasy.
Yeah, and just overall, it was pretty freaking just like it brings back so much stuff from all the other Alien movies, and it just fully tells you the story, and just the plot of it was awesome. People actually don't really like it. I don't know why. The reviews in general from like critics and
Listen,
stuff weren't the
don't-
best, but the movie itself was amazing.
Here's my advice for a movie: do not read don't read the ratings. Just go see it. I mean, if I read the ratings of, say, Batman v Superman, I would have never seen it. It had the worst ratings ever. I saw it and I like it. It's not the best, but it's good.
Yeah.
closest we're gonna get to a good movie from DC for a while.
But yeah, basically just don't listen to the critics on certain movies. Watch movies that you think would interest you, especially if
Yeah,
it's in a
don't-
storyline
see,
or a franchise
Don't listen to
as
critics.
big as Alien.
I'm gonna say one thing. This is gonna be the last off-topic thing I'm gonna say. For the movie, Man of Steel. One of the critics said, when I was reading it, says, I liked the movie until all the action started. Critics do not know what they're talking about. They judge movies on how they want the movie to be, not on. They judge it in such a bad way. They don't know how to judge movies. If anything, if you're gonna look at reviews, look at the fan reviews. They know what they're talking about. They know the storyline of the movies.
Yeah.
Say a critic. They probably won't. I mean, some of them are huge Alien fans. I'll probably say, okay, yeah, I'm into this. But the fans, those are who you listen to. You listen to the fans. The fans will tell you.
Pretty
Listen to the-
much. Like
listen to the fans.
they'll give you more of a solid review than the
I mean,
critics would themselves.
Listen to us. Was Alien Covenant a perfect movie? No, far from it. It was not a perfect movie, but it was a damn good one.
Yeah. It
What-
was a fucking really good one.
Yeah, if you're gonna tell me a perfect movie, I'm gonna say Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one. My opinion, it's amazing. But I mean, even then, it's not perfect. But it's not a perfect movie. But the fact that they don't use over-the-top CGI.
That's true. They try to eliminate
mean,
it as much as possible.
The Alien, some scenes, it had to be CGI. It just had to be. But
Yeah.
in the scenes where you see it sitting still and doing small actions, like when it was hitting its head on the glass, you see it in the trailer, that was an actual. What they did is they got a head on a stick and they just smacked the glass.
Yeah, pretty
A little
much. Which
cheesy.
honestly, it sounds funny, but little stuff like that makes the movie go a lot farther than it would
Yeah.
with CGI.
I like how they didn't care about if the CGI wasn't great, they didn't care. The storyline is just so good that any time there's something that shouldn't have been a good scene, it was a good scene just because the characters were in there. They look like they're actually scared for their lives.
Yes, they
I mean, that's something you don't
chose
see
probably
it.
the best set of actors for
Mhm.
this particular movie than any other because
Yeah.
the actors did an incredible job.
I mean, it's like Keanu Reeves. If they hired Keanu Reeves, I'd be out. I'll be nope. He's good at being in certain movies like Neo. He's great at John Wick, great at. But it's just the characters are so. Even though you don't get to know the first captain, you kind of feel bad because a lot of times in movies when someone dies first thing you're like, oh, okay. But this was like, man, that was so, man, like she made it a sad death. It wasn't like, oh man, it was like oh man, sucks.
Yeah.
But go see it. We're getting a little
Definitely.
longer on this video. Yeah, we were really getting off topic right now, but I'm gonna leave it at this. Go see it. I highly recommend it. I was texting my stepbrother on Instagram, and he thought he was no, and he's excited for it. I told him just go see it. Don't look at reviews. Watch it, and you'll fall in love. And yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
it's honestly a
will
really,
love it.
really good movie, guys. Just try it. If you guys don't like it, then obviously it's not your taste or it didn't go to like your guys' perspective of what the movie could have been. But overall, it is an incredible installation to the Alien franchise.
Yeah. And I honestly, based on how it ended, I do believe there's going to be another one in the next couple years.
Oh, definitely.
I can't imagine them not doing one. So, Alien is like one of those franchises that will just go on forever. I honestly do not think there's going to be a time when they just stop being Aliens. The only time I can ever think of it is, please never not happen anytime soon, but Ridley Scott passes away. Until then, I don't think they're going to stop Alien. I hope if Ridley Scott does pass away, they need to stop it though.
Yeah, if they keep making more and more after he passes, it's eventually just gonna drive the
Yeah,
franchise into the ground, and no one's gonna
it's
like it anymore.
just the way he's very. If I want to be a filmmaker, so I know a lot of filmmakers' way they do things. He's so specific on what he wants. He does not settle for all right. It's like the director for
It's go
Full Metal
big or
Jacket.
go home.
Yeah, it's he likes physical things. So there's a whole scene where they're going through this basically a graveyard of just a ton of dead engineers. I don't think there's a single one that was CGI. They made each one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we should end it at this note that it was an amazing movie. You got to go see it. If you're not, even if you're not an Alien fan, I would recommend watching Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien. Don't they have 4 main Alien movies?
I think so. Is
Yeah.
that or it goes to Prometheus as 4?
Just watch them all. I would not watch them Prometheus, Alien Covenant. You gotta watch them. Alien, Aliens, Alien 3. If there is another one, that one, Prometheus, then this one. That's how you should see it. Just so you understand what's going on. This is a movie for the fans, which not a lot of people do anymore. But
Yeah.
that was our spoiler review for Alien Covenant. Since Brandon, you did the intro, I'm gonna do the outro if that's all the same with you.
Yeah, it's all good.
So, yeah, I would highly recommend this movie. In my opinion, I would give it a 9 out of 10. Would you give it, Brandon?
Yeah, definitely a strong 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's not a perfect movie. There will probably never be a all-time perfect movie.
Well, I mean,
But 9 out of 10 is a... there is a really strong and hard place for that movie, and it definitely deserves a 9 out of 10.
Yeah. All right, well, that's our review. This was a lot of fun. I think we should definitely do more of these. Yeah. I'm going to do more of these regardless. So, because these are fun. So, let's see. You'll see one for Spider-Man Homecoming, hopefully. And this is Skybound Gaming Out and Unstarted Gaming Out. Later, guys.